The first thing you notice in Joe Andoe's studio is rivers. A big milky one straight ahead, blue ones to the left and right. Over the past years, the rivers have multiplied, and Joan doesn't even know why she keeps painting them. When Joan got here in the mid-80s, no galleries were offering solo or group shows, and, like the other hundreds of artists in New York, she was struggling. I'd been in New York for about 6 years and nothing was happening, and I was beginning to think nothing was going to happen. So I stopped painting for a few months, and then I started painting again for myself. You know, after all the dishes had been done and all my domestic chores were fulfilled, I'd sit on the dining table and paint. And what showed up on these canvases were rivers, lush and open, the kind you'd see on a postcard from somewhere in Wyoming, or in this case, Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Joan grew up. Me and my buddies, we'd park out here and get high in the evening. So when Joan stopped trying to paint for anyone else, she drifted backwards into her adolescence. And ultimately, this is what people lined up for. Joan had one show, and then another one. Studio visits from private collectors. Then, calls from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Whitney.
Whether or not you win this thing, you've got to decide how you're going to walk out of here when it's all said and done. Because the game is going to go on. And there's only one rule you're going to need to know about. There are no second chances. There's only this moment and the next moment. Every one of those moments is a test that you get to take one time and only one time. So if you see an opening, tear into it. If you get a shot at victory, make damn sure you take it. Seize that moment. You got momentum at your back. Fear and doubt are thundering like a freight train straight at you. And all you've got, the only difference between making history and being history, the only thing you can count on at any given moment is you. It's you versus them. You versus no. You versus can't. You versus next year, last year, statistics, excuses. It's you versus the odds. You versus history. It's you versus second place. The clock is ticking. Let's see what you got.
All the while, she kept on painting rivers.
And then, about a year ago, I started painting boys. So I'm just following my gut and painting these pictures. I don't really know why. And I notice that they all look the same. They all look like the same boy.
Looking over all the paintings in the studio, they clearly are the same boy, but in a dozen different angles.
Like my first love kind of thing. It was like my first soulmate, the first time you realize you're not alone. And then I remember this moment with him and me in the river.
Joan realized she'd been painting a memory of the moments of one afternoon 30 years earlier.
We were lying down, the river's there. I was in love. I had a beautiful boy with me. It doesn't get any better than that. I was skipping out of school so I wouldn't have to be in class. I was on Easy Street. I didn't have $5 in my pocket. I had enough gas to get home. I had my cigarettes. I don't know. He moved away to Minnesota for some reason, and he called me one day, and we went out dancing. And I dropped him off, and he looks at me like this and says, "Aren't you coming in?" And I says, "No, I have to go see somebody else. I forget his name." And he lit a cigarette, slammed a door, and he died in a fire that night. I mean, the funny thing is, he was so spirited, if anybody was going to come back and haunt me, he would. I don't title these things. There's no ending, there's no beginning. There's just every day, and I stir it up again.